this change. We're confident if we can mobilise the community, keep the council on side, we can keep the greenbelt protection. What happens after Saturday is that on behalf of the whole community we then submit our response to the document. A planning inspector appointed by, it's an independent planning inspector appointed by the Secretary of State, will hold an inquiry later in the year. If we don't respond to this document now, we're not able to appear at the inquiry. So the idea of me convening next week's conference is to make sure that we do our submissions residence group by residence group and individuals if necessary, and then we appear at the inquiry later in the year and put our arguments around the protection of the greenbelt. That will then set the framework of greenbelt protections in this area for the next 10 or 15 years. But it's important that we get this part of the exercise shaped in the way that we want to. So if you're free next Saturday morning, come along to Buckwell Centre. There'll be lots of residence groups from across the area talking about this particular document and how we amend it and how we strengthen it. It'll be an open discussion, and no one's an expert in this, but we've got planning experts along just to advise us on how we shape the wording, how we formally make the representations, and then after that we'll be coming back together then to look at how we make representations at the inquiry, because we'll all, if we make our views known, we'll all then be invited to that inquiry to express our views on behalf of the community. I'm confident that we can win this, but we mustn't drop our guard. What I'm fearful of is the commercial developers will lobby for trimming parts of the green belt that don't look as though they're having a huge effect, but once they get the principle agreed, they'll then get the foot in the door for further development. So, and this site, I think, is one of the most important now that we've got to protect. If they can get their foot into partly developing this part of the green belt, I think the rest will go in the area itself. So this, I think, is the key battle. If you can come along next Saturday, please do so. If you can't, don't worry, we'll keep people informed. The letter has gone out to everybody about how you can make your representations. Read that through. If you've got time, write to the council and set out your views on the document. The council hasn't been brilliant about its consultation methods. It's very difficult to get hold of a copy of the document. It is online. It's called the Local Development Framework Core Strategy. Copies are available at the library, but they haven't done enough for people to take away, unfortunately. So next Saturday, when people come along, we'll get people taking us through the document, and then we'll go through it line by line. If you can respond in letter form yourself, that would be really useful. Okay. Finally, I just want to thank all those people who helped organise today. We had the working party last week. That was volunteered from our last public meeting. About 30 or 40 people turned up. Each one of them decided that we should have a demonstration like this, and each one of them has gone out and delivered letters right the way across the area. And I want to say thank you for them. Within 3 days, they've delivered thousands of letters, and I think we need to give them a round of applause for what they've done. Thanks for coming along. We'll try and keep people informed at every stage. If you can get to next week's conference, come along. If you can write into the council, please do so. And then after that, we'll let you know. The working party that we established from the public meeting will meet on a regular basis. We will be organising other stunts and things like this just to keep the profile up, because I think if we go quiet, the developer will be doing its quiet lobbying behind the scenes. So what we've got to do is make sure we mobilise the whole of the community against the threat of development.